I guess instead of me introducing everybody, I'm just going to go through and introduce our office staff and our park staff and our rec board members and then the select board members. So Ted Ryan is our park supervisor. Kelly McGinley is a program coordinator for us. Jen Trammell is also a program coordinator. Mike LePan is our front office administrator. Derek Mitchell is our assistant director. And then we have Suzanne Kelly, a rec board member. Lisa Leota, the rec board member. Dick Pecor and Adrian Schubert. And select board members, Herb Downing.
Herb Downing, select board.
Dawn Princess, town manager.
Jeff Bartley, select board.
Tom Mulcahy.
So welcome to Airport Park. Tonight is to kind of do a showcase of each department. The select board is going to be visiting all the different departments in the next year and a half. We're lucky to be number 2 in the list, and shows that it'd probably be better to do it in the summertime than in the wintertime. So here we are at Airport Park. To kind of quickly go through our quick itinerary, because it has to be somewhat quick, is I'm going to quickly do a walk through some of our facilities here at the park. We can come back to the pavilion, grab some things to eat. I'll quickly go over the PowerPoint presentation that I've already forwarded to all of you and go through some questions, and then we're going to take a quick tour of the Village Park Phase 1B that was just completed. So we're excited about that. So since we have a short amount of time, we'll just start walking. I figured we would go visit the hangar where all our equipment is stored in the building, Ted's office, and then depending on how hard the rain is coming down, we can maybe visit some of the facilities here on site. We have 6 seasonal workers that are based out of this facility. We do not have toilets in this building. We just have a water running sink. Our staff use the bathrooms at the restroom area, and then once the water is shut off here, then Ted gets to use a portalette through the winter. So that's some of the challenges we have with this current facility. Also, it looks quite spacious now while we're standing here, but recognize that those 3 vehicles that are sitting outside come inside at the end of the day, but we took them out so you could get an idea of what we have in this facility. And plus one that sits out permanently. So we've got, as you can see, we run 0-turn mowers in the parks. We have an old red Groundsmaster that we use for rough areas, usually in the back area of Airport Park, sometimes out on the causeway. So it's the indestructible mower. As I said, we had 4 pickup trucks that our staff uses, as well as we also share a 1-ton dump truck with Public Works that comes to us in the summertime when they're not plowing in the winter. We also have a small size tractor. This orange piece of equipment here is what's called an infield groomer. We use it to groom our baseball fields. It makes that job go much quicker for staff, as well as we tend to put it on the beaches when they need to be cleaned up a bit, and also our sand volleyball courts. We have 2 walk-behind mowers, a couple blowers, weed whackers. We have sharpening machines for our blades. So we're, as far as operating equipment to service the needs of the parks, we're in very good shape. We've been very fortunate with the capital equipment plan to get the turnaround replacement on our mowers, which we run for many, many hours every day, every week, every month, so that we're not running into problems where we have machinery that's down and that we lose efficiency. So the quick turnaround, I think we have a 4-year turnaround on replacement for our mowers. That's just about the time where they start to break down. We also get a good return on our investment on trade-ins, so the cost of new mowers aren't as great, and it improves our efficiency as well. So that's... I'm sorry? If we can go in here, it's just a small area. It's a cabinet area. We have water for the guys. We buy bottled water or refrigerator. What's on the walls? Also, you'll see above is the clipboards. We keep track, and you'll see in the PowerPoint of the hours that we work on different tasks. Keep it as 50 by 40. So if we were to create some type of like a roofing system where we keep them out of weather, as we know this process. We've also looked at, if you look at the building, because that's one of the issues that we do have when we schedule Airport Park, is we can't have too many big events going on at the same time because of the parking. We currently have, I think, 225 parking spaces here, and with the popularity of the Causeway and Little League and soccer and you name it here at the park, we sometimes run out of parking here, believe it or not, on busy weekends, and people will park on the side of the road. So. Anything else? Questions? We'll head over to. Okay, I don't think we can all get in at once. Maybe we'll take turns. I think we have room for more.
Yeah.
This can tether out there.
Okay. So we've got everybody. So this is Ted Ryan's office. It once served as the control room for the Champlain Airport. So as you can see, that was their control room in there. It acts as our storage currently. Like I said, there's no running water in this building. That's Ted's water right behind you. It's heated in the wintertime. It's the one heated location at Airport Park. And as you can tell, there's no locker room space in here or bathrooms. Staff, the seasonal park staff don't really have a place to come at the end of the day to change out. They're out there in the big hangar. The other piece is there's no indoor heated space for Ted to work in the wintertime. So as he's working on stuff outside, being the skating rink or grooming trails, and he needs to dry out hoses that we use to resurface the rink, we don't have that space. We don't have any running water out here, so when we need, when we resurface, we use hot water in a pull behind cart. Ted has to go to the water district building to fill up because we don't have any running water out here in the winter besides the hydrant that's out there that we use to fill the rink. So there's challenges out here with all the dust and all the dirt trying to keep computers working correctly. We're actually gonna need to get him a new printer because the dirt gets in everything, and so there's not a real clean environment to keep things working efficiently. So there's really not much more to say. Ideally, in a building, if we were to build a new one, that there would be an office attachment for him in that building. So, questions? No? All right, keep moving.
I see you see the items for the water.
Just where we keep our toilet papers and grass seed and stuff.
Does this building have any historical significance?
Where does that meeting usually take place?
Right.
In the hangar, yeah.
Yep.
It's the biggest space for everybody to meet.
Right.
And what's great about our park staff, I must say, is start time at that 7 a.m. and they're usually here 15 to 20 to 30 minutes ahead of time, preparing for when 7 o'clock comes to get started on their day. And they work right up to 3 o'clock. So we have a really dedicated seasonal park staff that we're fortunate to have, and they keep returning to us. So as a supervisor, Ted must be doing something right. That they enjoy coming back.
That's the key to the whole thing, is the guys that work in the really get a lot of confidence about the park. So it's really those guys that keep it together.
Okay.
So as you see over here, we have 2 sand volleyball courts that are located out there. We won't make us walk out there in the rain. We also have, I think there are 6 out there. Then we have a very dedicated club that comes out on the weekends and plays. They somewhat maintain them. We've got 2 tennis courts there that are also lined for pickleball. If you come out here on Saturday, there's a contingent of pickleball players out there, and they are serious about the game. And we love having them there, and their next pitch to me is that they want wind screens out there because the wind is always out at Airport Park and it affects their pickleball's flight. So they want some wind screens out there for next year. We have 1 basketball court and then we can head over. We could take an outdoor look at the schoolhouse, one of the Little League fields, and the bathhouse, and then we can make our way back to the pavilion if you like. This is the Colchester Historical Schoolhouse that was relocated to here, how many years ago, Tom? 6?
2007.
Pretty close. 7 years ago. At first, I'll be honest, I wasn't a fan of it coming to the park. I thought, as we look down the road, that it may be in the way of something that I might want to do. But now looking at it, I think it's a great addition to the park. I think it adds a stop along what's now becoming a very popular bikeway for people to see some history of Colchester instead of just passing by on their way through. So they do a great job staffing it on the weekends, and people seem to enjoy going in and using it. So I think it's a great addition to the park. Right behind the park, we can walk a little bit. There is one of our 4 baseball/softball fields here on location. All of our athletic fields are fully irrigated, so that's why they look like a carpet of grass, which is fantastic. Prior to that, before they were irrigated, they were not. And this area here is about 85% sand, am I correct? The soil is about 85% sand. So water doesn't stay long. Grass burns quickly. And so we had nice sandboxes as baseball fields, which were really a challenge to maintain. But over the years with the irrigation and changing over infield material that we use, they've become undoubtedly probably some of the best baseball fields in the county. Ted and his crew do a fantastic job maintaining them. We can go over and take a quick look.
Ron, by the way, there's something coming here. There's going to be an app for your phone.
Yes.
And that app, when you dial in, will give you, based upon a sign that might be around here somewhere, either a dissertation on the causeway, on the schoolhouse, or on the airport. There's a story on each. This is being done by the Highways and Byways.
Oh, very cool.
Let's take a quick walk to that baseball field. We use a surface infield material that isn't as dusty as the old local based material. As I said, they're irrigated, and what proves that we have fantastic athletic fields and maintenance is that we've hosted several all-star state tournaments here locally. So people want to come and play. Our Little League association in town has been very supportive. They've been financially supportive as well. As we looked to redo this field a couple years ago, they contributed about $15,000 to redo this field. So they've been very supportive of us as well, and we feel that we need to be stewards of their donations to us to make sure that we continue to provide them a great baseball field to use. So, you know, as you can see, they're starting to build the banner network of state champions and district champions in the back. So we like to think it's because they play on really nice fields all season long. The field next to this one is a full-size baseball field that's used by Babe Ruth, and the Colchester Middle School sometimes uses that facility. The next one down is a fully skinned infield, which is primarily used for softball, girls softball, and that's the same distance of 200 feet, fences. And then the 4th field down is another grass infield Little League field that's also used. The Little League Association has started building these press boxes here, and we've run power to them so that in the future, as we run more state tournaments, and kids can have announcements and music, and kids just love that. So it's a really nice addition to the fields.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, some people would agree with that. I don't know if the neighbor would, but we'll have to see. Next, we'll kind of walk through the playground area, and then I can show you the 2 softball fields, and then we can make our way to the pavilion for some dinner. They weren't working that well. They were battery powered actually, and so the past year they ran power to them because the batteries wouldn't hold long enough. So they tried. Playground number 2. Originally here was a wooden structure for a number of years, until the point where, as more playground inspections and guidelines were coming through the pipeline for safety, it was out of compliance. and so we had to replace it with the existing piece of equipment that we have now. And it was too bad because the old one, and I think Mark was associated with the original that was here, that was really unique, but unfortunately we could no longer use it. It was a haven for hornets' nests and wasps and steel belted treads on the tires, so unfortunately we had to upgrade to the current standards now. I think this was installed in 2005, 4 maybe. And so we updated this whole area. We looked at concrete curbing so people wouldn't have to step up into the area or eliminate tripping. Down the road we may look at trying to get rid of this pea stone and do something a little bit different, as all the wood chips kind of incorporate into that, and is sometimes a maintenance challenge. But it's very popular. Probably the most popular item here, of course, is the tire swing. Everybody enjoys that. And so, as you probably know, or as I go through the PowerPoint presentation, we have updated all the playgrounds in Colchester officially now. So all of, the last one that was done was Heritage Park, and before that, this past year, we did the one at the 40th and Allen, which is, has all the fans raving at the fort with their new playground. They're very excited about that. Behind you is the snack bar, which is attached to the bathroom. That's currently operated by the Youth Baseball League and Softball League. It's only open during their hours of operation when they're playing games, so currently it's closed. We've had some discussions with the select board and us as to whether they're having a hard time finding volunteers to staff that as well. And so maybe we might need to look at something different. Past here, as you can see, we have one full-size soccer field out here and a smaller size that goes in a direction. We can also use it for lacrosse and any other multi-purpose sports. And then further down past there, you'll see what is the long strip of what used to be a runway that in the future, if you dig down a couple feet, you can still find the surface of the old runway. We're getting more and more need for more athletic space, so we may look at, because there is a drainage problem down there, to look at maybe putting some money towards building some athletic fields down there as well. There's also a 1.3 mile loop path that goes around the park for walking and jogging. We also have a drainage problem with that at the end of the park that we're going to need to look at addressing fairly soon. In the wintertime, this parking lot here doubles as our skating area. We have one 100 by 80 rink and I think it's a 50 by 50 rink that we put in for the kids. So if there's hockey being played, if someone wants to skate, they won't get in the way of that or injured. And we also, in the wintertime, when we have snow, groom cross-country ski trails. And what we've done is over the years, we've started creating a little trail network in the woods so that people aren't out in the open space. They kind of feel like they're getting away somewhere different. And we've had increasing numbers of people come out and use that and requesting that from us. Hey, the trail's groomed today when they get some snow. We try to get to that as quickly as we can, but we do have some plowing responsibilities in the parks. But as soon as Ted's free, he typically gets out there fairly quickly to do that. So that's a quick and skinny of Airport Park.
Glenn, you also have the bog?
Well, that's UVM. University of Vermont also maintains what's called the Colchester Bog, and there is a boardwalk that goes out there. I think they have some interpretive signs out there as well, but that again is UVM property and they maintain that. Also, we have a rare and endangered plant on site called Hudsonia. We all know about it. It's also beach heather, and I can't tell you where it's located because everybody will go see it, but we've been very good working with the state to make sure that that is a thriving population here at Airport Park. So, are we good?
One of the things Kathy Walker O'Reilly, our Economic Development Director, and I have been talking about with Glenn is the possibility of signage as you come off the bike path and off the causeway. Obviously, we're a regional attraction, if not worldwide attraction in terms of our bike path system. We'd like to direct people to the village, the Mallets Bay, where the stores are, and where they can get provisions if they'd like to go to a farm market, for example. So that's something that we've got in mind when we get some resources.
Great. Let's head over to the pavilion. We can grab some sandwiches and I can go through the PowerPoint. I think I've got about 20 minutes before everybody has to head off. So I'm going to quickly go through this PowerPoint. A lot of the things we've already gone through in my talk here, but I'll quickly just scan through it. You did meet all of our rec advisory board. I feel really honored that they have decided to give up their time to the community. They act as my sounding board, which is fantastic. It's good to have a group of citizens where if you're not sure of something before you send it out to the public, that there's a group here supporting you and gives you ideas. And we have some really exciting things that we're currently working on as we want to make our board more visible to the community. And one of the things that we're looking at is a community outreach program, and being something that is a build project that has leave behind as far as what we're talking about is some intricate bike racks in the community as we're becoming more of a biking community and looking at how we can serve those businesses, as Don briefly talked about, that we have places to put the bikes, and so we're talking to local businesses and having some unique designs of bike paths as well. The two board members that aren't here tonight, Owen Banks and Stuart Marceau. Some of you may know Stuart. He used to be a former police officer here in Colchester, served on the board. The next page is our division of responsibilities. We're kind of divided into two different divisions within our department. One being the recreation side, which is what you would initially think would be the programming piece, where we develop all the programs and put them together. But also there's a lot more to it as we manage the park capital plan. We're planning for parks constantly, developing the projects, seeing them through by managing them, and any changes in town operations we also work with. We respond to citizens' requests, and believe it or not, as you'll see further down the road, is we've kind of become an HR department as well. As you'll see, we employ almost 100 people a year through our department. So we're kind of a jack of all trades. If you just think that programming is all we do a lot more than that. In our parks division, we make sure that all these facilities are safe to the users. We maintain all the infrastructure, but also we maintain bike paths, the greenery around those, also all the municipal buildings. All the municipal buildings, exteriors, we take care of. We also take care of pump stations in town. So it's not just the parks that we mow. There's a lot of greenery in town that we mow as well and take care of. And we are also in constant contact working with Ted as far as updating the park capital plan and the things that need to be addressed. And the way it was structured is we have a 20-year program for replacement items, but sometimes things pop up and need to be replaced sooner, or things that we thought that need to be replaced on a certain time scale have changed, where that fence doesn't need to be replaced in 2015. I think we can pull it out to 2020. There might be something that's more pressing that we need to take care of, and we'll jump onto that. Getting into our recreational staff, the community, I feel, and we're glad to be able to do this, is we have two unique budgets in that we have a taxpayer supported budget and a program or enterprise fund budget, which all the revenue that we bring in from our programs sits in there, and we pay our expenses out of that enterprise fund. So that gives us the opportunity to also pay for staff out of that enterprise fund. So essentially, when I go through this list, you'll see that not many of these staffs that I list are funded through taxpayer dollars. Most of them are done through program fees. For instance, the director, I am fully funded through the general fund budget, but our assistant director is partially funded through the general fund and the program fund. Our two program coordinators, Jen and Kelly, are fully funded through the program enterprise fund. Mike LePan, our administrative assistant, is partially funded through the general fund and program fund. and we have 3 full-time site directors for our ACE after-school program. And those 3 site directors are fully funded through the program fund, as well as all the staff that work underneath them. As I mentioned earlier, some of the highlight of our programs, our ACE After School program, which was created in 2004. It's a state licensed child care provider. We are now located in all the schools, being Union Memorial School, Porter's Point School, Ballot Space School, and now this year we started the program at the Colchester Middle School, which we're very excited about. And this program employs about 25 part-time staff. I'm not going to go through all the summer camps we held this year. We have 2 weeks left of camp. It's been a fantastic year, but through the summer programs, we offered 87 summer programs this year. We also operate the waterfront at Bayside. We operate starting June 16th through August 15th. The hours are 10 to 6 during the week, 11 to 5 on the weekends. All of that is funded through the program fund. Now, as you can see, we run the beach at a deficit. Reason being is a number of years ago, we eliminated the fees for people to come in and use the beach, so it's free. But we still employ lifeguards there. So we lose money there. We also operate the Colchester Triathlon out of there, and we do swim lessons, but over the years, swim lessons numbers have decreased. Why? I'm not quite sure, but people may tend to think of water quality issues in the bay, but that's not true. For instance, knock on wood, we've only been closed 1 day this year. So we've had a very successful water quality year. Summer events, we operate we had our 2nd annual Causeway 5 15K. We filled that race. It was fantastic. I think heard you running it this year.
We did.
A beautiful venue for a race. Unfortunately, this year's triathlon, for the first time in 30 years, we had to cancel it. It was sad for everybody because we were planning for a great time, being the 30th annual, but we're going to do 30.1 next year. So we're hoping for another great year. We continue to do our summer concert series. This Thursday will be our last one of the summer. We've been lucky that the weather has cooperated with us, which it hasn't, but we're also thankful that the new canopy that we put at Bayside Park is allowing us to hold these in questionable weather, because the tarp system we had that worked for a couple of years wasn't that trustworthy, and so having more permanent structure there, and Jen can attest to that, as she had a rainstorm come through on Thursday right before the show, and we ended up having the show. Had we had the old system, we probably would have had to cancel. And of course, everybody's favorite July 4th celebration with the 5K fun run. I think this year we're up to almost 220 runners at $5 a piece. We had a great time. I think Herb runs in that as well. Our parade, our concert, and fireworks on the 4th. Fall programs, which run from September, October, November, December. We run about 60 programs. We are hoping to go to print tomorrow with our brochure. Jen's been working really hard, as well as Kelly and all of our staff, to put together our fall brochure that'll be going out to the public here very shortly. I'm not going to go through the list, but as you can see, we have a little bit of something for everybody. So
and we love the new format. I mean, the magazine looks
I'm glad.
It just looks fabulous.
We were contemplating whether we were going to stay with the glossy or change, but we decided that we thought we'd catch more eyes with the glossy brochure.
Yeah.
Our fall special events, when I went to print with this, we were hoping that we're going to do the Muck It Up challenge. Unfortunately, we didn't get the numbers that we wanted, and we unfortunately had to pull the plug on that event. And Breakfast with Santa, which is a big hit. Winter programs, which go January, February, March, April, May, and June. We offered 74 programs. We had some great collaboration this year with St. Mike's, having a St. Mike's Day with the basketball program and the women's basketball program and the hockey program. So we're hoping to build on that a bit more, and really trying to push the Bayside Activity Center for older adults to come join us. Our winter special events, the 31st annual Winter Carnival, which is always the big hit. Again, I talked about the Colchester yesterday at St. Mike's. We collaborate with the Lions Club on the Easter egg hunt, and 7 years ago we started an annual Touch a Truck event in May. And Derek, how many participants would you say come to that event?
Close to 1,000 families.
Families come out, rain, whatever it is, to come and climb all the trucks and equipment. Public Works, Rescue, Police, all the local departments within the town come and bring some vehicles. So it's a really nice collaborative event with all of our town departments. We're also in charge of youth sports, youth basketball and youth lacrosse. We also do youth track and field. I won't share the numbers, you can see that there. The Bayside Activity Center, which I just mentioned. I think 3 years ago we renovated that building at zero cost to the taxpayer. We used program fund surplus dollars to do that. We gutted out the old paneling inside and the old kitchen, and we put in sheetrock ceilings and walls and new windows, made it more energy efficient, and really made it a real vibrant area. And we're hoping to get more activity in there and utilize that space a bit more. And this is something, the next page is Life. And Life is a new program which is a great collaboration with the school district. I have some flyers here that I brought, and it just went out in the mail this week, which really what we're trying to model it after is the Buzz Her's dog.
Wow.
Is to create new educational opportunities for all ages and kind of model it similar to if you've seen the CVU Access program. And so what we're trying to do is kind of replicate that here in Colchester. And so it's a small step. I think we introduced about 12 to 14 new programs, and then we hope to increase that as popularity grows. But we want to get people into the school district buildings, see the high schools, and hopefully to extend into the new science center that they're building currently. Believe it or not, there's more. Building Bright Futures. This is a birth to 6 program that's granted through the state of Vermont. And we do play groups, baby toddler socials, prenatal exercise, education classes, and also help kids transition into kindergarten. That is based out of the basement at the Meeting House. So to kind of wrap this all together, as far as programming goes, from January 1st, 2014 to present, we offer 339 programs, of which 3,446 people participated. We anticipate those numbers are going to increase with the popularity, we hope, of the LIFE program and the addition of the ACE program sites. And to give you an idea of our staffing for all those programs is we have 8 full-time office staff, being between the 5 that we currently have, our site directors that are going to be doing some time within the office, and then Ted in the parks. We have 77 seasonal part-time between ACE and summer staff, and we also have contractual employees that we hire out to do contractual programs with us that I didn't include in the number. So we're looking at close to probably well over 100 staff that we utilize to make all these things happen. We also schedule the athletic fields here at Airport, at Bayside with the adult softball leagues that participate at the softball field at Bayside. The pavilions are becoming very popular, and Ted will tell you that the volume of trash we're pulling out of the parks this year as far as venues for family activities and gatherings. I would safe to say, and Mike could probably follow up with this, every weekend is booked at every facility, and now we're into weekdays. So, and this starts March 1st is when you can start reserving the facility. So they're becoming quite popular.
How much are we charging now to reserve it for doing?
Well, I think we're almost too affordable. It's $50 for the day for a resident, and then we have a sliding scale as far as businesses, non-residents, then non-resident businesses, so there's a sliding scale on that. Some of you probably today received an Evite to our volunteer recognition night, and this is Colchester Pride. And Colchester Pride is a something that was developed with an idea of Derek Mitchell to recognize volunteers who help us throughout the course of the year with our programs and special events. And what we want to do is in return show them that they're appreciated and have a recognition dinner for them to say, you know, come join us. We want to celebrate you and the efforts that you've given to your community in helping us run these fantastic programs and events. So that's something that dinner is going to be September 19th, I believe. So if you haven't gotten an invite, please let us know, because you should be getting one. Quickly, we're getting close. Park staff.
It's an awesome picture, by the way.
It's a great picture. I wish I had this in color, but I couldn't. We already met Ted Ryan. He's our park supervisor. He's our only year-round employee in the parks division. We are served by seasonal folks, but we're lucky that we have 3 gentlemen, Pete Cody being one, who's our park foreman, has been with us over 10 years now. Larry Rooney has been with us, I think, over almost 8 years now. And Paul Rodriguez has been with us about 5. Now, with the new regulations as far as time and health care, it's really changed the dynamic of how we hire these seasonal folks. Because anything over 6 months, we have to pay for health benefits. And so that's a challenge for us in the small budgets that we have. So we had to look at how could we reconfigure our staffing to still continue to give the level of service that people are used to in our park system. So what we did is we looked at having 3 staff go 9 months, as we typically do, and we had 3 go back to the 6-month positions, and then we hired on a college-age student for a 3-month position to help pick up the transition piece. So this is our first trial run at it this year. So far, so good, but I think fall might be a tough transition as far as when we need to clean up the facilities and get them buttoned up for the winter. So it's a trial run this year, but so far, so good. As you saw when we looked inside the building there's a clipboard amongst everybody's hook that identifies all the things that they've done during the course of the day and the week in the parks. I'm not going to go through all the hour listings of the things that they did, but as you can see, there are some pretty busy fellows doing a wide range of different activities in the parks. But as you can tell, mowing and trimming is the #1 business that we do in the parks. But I think trash is getting pretty quick. And that's one of the things that we recognize, that our parks are busy because of the amount of volume of trash we're taking out of here. And that's great, because that's what they're here for, to be used and enjoyed. I'll quickly go through the different parks that we have, because you may not be familiar with all of them. Our large parks, is Airport Park, which you are here, Bayside Park, which has the waterfront, as well as the tennis courts that the high school use, a brand new playground, and the softball field and the youth/football lacrosse field in the back. Everybody knows the Colchester Causeway. That's considered the jewel of our community, the 4-mile-long path that extends out into Lake Champlain. Rossetti Natural Area, which if anybody drove by there this weekend, I'm sure found cars all over the place. It's grown in popularity, probably one of the most beautiful beaches in the bay, and maybe even in Lake Champlain. 40th and Allen, which is kind of that distant park that we share with Essex, which we just put in a brand new playground this year. It's got 2 tennis courts there, primarily used for cricket and rugby, and the youth lacrosse program of Essex. Colchester Village Park. Finally have seen some movement there. We finally completed phase 1B, which is a 5-car parking lot and a paved access down. We're currently working with the Vermont Youth Conservation Corps to create a trail system there for passive recreation until such time we find the funding to build a more active park there. We're also looking at how we're going to cross over the Indian Brook with some bridges, and so I have a template for a contract with them to start working on some of the development of that we're going to try to start moving forward with quickly. Sunny Hollow Natural Area, which is a neighbor to Camp Johnson. That is a 4-mile mountain biking and walking trail system there, which we've partnered with, I knew I was going to draw a blank, Fellowship of the Wheel, thank you, to help maintain and create the mountain bike trail network that is through there. And Rick Davey has been instrumental. He's a Colchester resident. He's kind of acts as the steward there. Heidelberg Billet-Doux fishing access, which is a small 4-acre natural area which has non-motorized boat access to the Winooski River and area fishing platform there in a very small parking lot. Law Island, which the town manages, the state of Vermont owns. We just removed some of all the outbuildings that were unsafe out there, so it's been brought back to its primitive state, but there is a composting portlet out there. Lake Champlain Committee kind of acts as a steward so that's a stop on the Paddler's Highway, and so they have some people checking in on that as we don't really have the resources to go out there, but they keep a close eye on if there's any problems. Porter Natural Area isn't really a park, it's more of a natural area that's based just off of the causeway. It's a protected area. It's kind of just, it's an open space resource for the community. And then we have a couple of what I call pocket parks. And these are small pockets of parks located in small neighborhoods. We have 3 of them, being Heritage Park, which is in the village off of Heritage Drive, that just received a new playground last year. Valleyfield Park, which is off of Mallett's Bay Avenue heading into Winooski, and Bonanza Park is just off of Heidelberg Drive. We also maintain recreation paths, over 10 miles of them, the Bayside to Village Path, the new Holy Cross Road Path, Colchester Point Road Path is here, and the Causeway. We maintain municipal buildings, being the town office, police department, parsonage house, meeting house, library, rescue, Bayside Activity Center, public works garage, and pump stations around the community. I gave a copy of the park capital plan you can look over. I won't go through that as we're running out of time. And you get all that for what I consider a pretty good deal. As you can see, our parks budgets for FY14 was $355,000, FY15 is $401,000, recreation FY14 was $278,000, and FY15 we actually is reduced down to $218,000. And then as you can see from our program fund, our actual revenue and expenses. So, how'd I do?
Impressive. I was just going to say the
Very
same thing. Impressive.
So now it's questions. Anybody have any questions of the board members?
I think in the interest of time, let's do the drive to the village. We're gonna do the drive-by of the village park. Does everybody know where that is? At the Fire District 3 building on the right in the village. We're gonna look at all the new construction that transpired there. And if there's questions there, we could do that. And
That sounds
see how
great.
we do